Hey everybody, Matt with Freestand here. I want to go over that article that I just put out. It's called The No-Code and Low-Code Revolution. And I just want to go through the article and break down the main points that I wrote about, just in case you don't want to read it or didn't have time to read it, whatever it might be. But anyway, let's get right into it. So first thing is, what is no-code? No-code is essentially software that allows people who are non-technical, that don't know how to code, um, program computers, okay, and control computers, right, and make software that they usually would have to code without code. So for as long as computers have been around, in order to develop software, you've needed to know how to code, and these different tools have come out and have allowed people to not need to know how to code in order to do things like make websites and build other types of software. And kind of what I want to talk about today are some of the different no-code tools that are out there in the market and what they mean for the future of software and building software. So the first no-code tools I want to talk about are like the simple no-code tools. So these tools are like Squarespace, Wix, Shopify, mostly just regular website builders that allow you to build like a super simple website. And they're really easy to use, like the most user-friendly things out there. You just use drag and drop functionality. You can add text blocks, videos, images, things like that. And you can build a website in 15 to 20 minutes. And for 95% of people starting businesses online, this is all you need. A landing page, a sign-up form, maybe a newsletter, some e-commerce functionality, but not much more. Now, and these have been around for a while, right? Website builders have, been around for the last 15, 20 years. They've gotten much better, but they've been around for a while. The next thing I want to talk about are the more complex no-code tools. The no-code tools that allow you to build complex software without using any code at all. And these are really, really remarkable. So the two that I want to talk about specifically are Webflow and Bubble. So Webflow is the best from a front-end development perspective. So it allows you to it has the most customizable features and design capability to design the front end of a website to look however you want it to look. So you have as much control with Webflow than you do with any of the other front end coding languages that you usually would have to use in order to design the front end of a website. So Webflow is really, really great for front end development. You can make literally any design that you can imagine in your head. There's no restrictions, as opposed to the drag and drop editor where there's a lot of restrictions. You can make a really clean looking website, but there's only so much you can do and control. You're limited to using blocks and moving the blocks only in a couple different ways and everything like that. As opposed to Webflow, where literally anything you could imagine in your head, you could make in Webflow. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is Bubble. So Bubble is the most powerful no-code tool in the market. It requires absolutely no coding. It's called a visual programming language, so it is a language in itself, but you don't have to write code, and you can learn this language, the basics of it, in the first, I'd say, probably 20 hours of working with it. And then you can get pretty proficient with it in like a month to 3 months, to the point where you could build a fully dynamic working application. So yeah, Bubble allows you to build any application, any piece of software you could think of. So you could build SaaS, software as a service, enterprise software as a service. So if you had an idea for a SaaS product, you could build it with Bubble. Marketplaces, regular consumer apps, websites, literally any piece of software you can imagine, you can pretty much build in Bubble. So Bubble's unbelievable. I really recommend for people that are looking to become freelancers, or if somebody has an idea for an app or whatever it might be, go check out Bubble. You will be amazed at what you can build in Bubble. You're almost going to be like, I don't believe this. I didn't know that this was possible. It's that good. Yeah. So next thing I want to talk about is low code. So low code's a little bit different, but it's also really important. Low code essentially allows a non-technical person to do the upfront work on the application, on building an application, but then it requires a real programmer, somebody who knows how to code, to finish the application off. And in low code, you drag around snippets of code as opposed to, like blocks and text and videos and stuff like that. So it's snippets of code, which is a little bit different. So it requires overall a more technical team to build the low code products. So the next thing I want to talk about is why low code and no code tools are really important. And the reason why they're really important is because they break down the coding barrier. So like I said before, since the history of computers, in order to make software for computers, and to make money off that software and capitalize on that technology, is you needed to know how to code. And now, since these tools are coming out and they're getting more and more powerful, where they're making it easier and easier for non-technical people to make software, it's going to open up the floodgates for everybody to make their own software and sell software online. And for those who don't have an idea for an app or a marketplace, whatever it might be, if you want to be a freelancer and you want to be a programmer, you don't need to go to school for 4 years. You can learn Bubble in a couple months and start selling your services online as a freelancer. And yeah, it's really amazing. So in terms of software development, it's going to allow more people to develop software. It's going to allow more people to make money off developing software. And also, it will make software development a lot faster. So because it's faster, it'll be cheaper. And it'll require less people to build software. So it'll also create more opportunities for freelancers, because let's say somebody had an idea for an app or a marketplace or whatever it might be, and it was a pretty big project, so they would most likely go and work with like a really big development agency. But now, since these no-code tools allow one person to be as powerful as 10 or 15 people, small developer teams will get more work, and individual freelancers will also get more work. So overall, these tools are amazing. They're really changing the landscape for software, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens moving forward. So read the whole article if you have a chance. It's really good. I go into a lot more detail there. I'm sure there's some stuff that I missed here, but I hope this was informative for people, and I hope you guys learned something, and I will see you later. Thank you so much.